Oops.
No, I was wondering what happened.
It's okay. Happy Monday.
Yeah, it's been I'd say it was a good day today.
It was a good day. It was also a good weekend.
Yeah, I had fun this weekend.
With lots of rain that came in yesterday.
Yeah, dude, it stormed out of nowhere.
And I got soaked. I was just moved into my apartment, and I was coming back up north to get some things, and it started pouring rain right around noon or so. We were looking out our window, and you could see it raining upwards. We're like, what in the heck? So I was like, I got things I want to do today. I'm not going to, be landlocked downtown. So I went out in the rain, and I just shrugged through it, and I got soaked. I took 2 showers in the matter of about 45 minutes, and it was big time flash flood. Like, I couldn't see where the curbs were.
That's always scary.
I mean, it was flowing so hard. I mean, it was dumping. I mean, it was so bad. And then, yeah, my shoes are still wet. They are still soaked. And I was pretty cold for the rest of the day. So
I would assume you were cold.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was a good experience. Just glad I didn't get struck by lightning.
Have you been struck by lightning before?
I have not been struck by lightning, and I don't plan on being struck anytime soon.
But knock on your wood there.
I know. And right before I left, there was lightning strikes all around, and I saw one probably land about 3 blocks away from our apartment. I was like, well, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't care.
Send it. All right, our bear fact for today. During hibernation, the bear's metabolism slows down, its body temperature decreases slightly, and its heart rate slows from a normal value of 55 to 9 beats per minute.
9 beats.
They like that thing from Step Brothers. Whenever Will Ferrell pretends to be dead, he was like, "I did the ninja whatever," and like stop my breathing.
Yeah, 9 beats per minute. That's, as close to dying as you'll ever be. Yeah. At least for a bear. I know that's how we are when we sleep, but gosh, the hibernation of bears is actually really interesting to me. How whenever the winter comes around, they're just like, nope, we're going to sleep. We're not dealing with this, and they can just go to sleep for months. Didn't you mention a bear fact about how they use their energy, or like how they store it? Because I don't think they use very much at all.
They recycle their feces.
That's right. They recycle their poop. Okay. Yeah, they're not done with it.
No.
They're not done with it.
First time through, they are not even close. That thing's still got 8 more checks.
And what, you said they have to eat 5,000 calories a day or 10,000 calories a day?
The grizzly bear eats 20,000.
Oh, 20,000.
But most bears eat around 90 pounds.
90 pounds of food?
Yeah. They require so much protein. They weigh, some of them weigh more than a ton. Some of them are half a ton.
Yeah, a lot.
They require so much to keep going.
So welcome to the show, Major. I'm glad you could join. Glad we could do this.
You're telling me, dude, I've been waiting for an hour. You've been here for an hour. I've just been looking at Instagram.
Well,
I got a funny story. So 2 or 3 months ago, me and David are at his apartment, and we're just playing basketball. And
also, it was great to have him on the podcast. It was really fun.
Yeah, he said 3 things.
We should have him on again. It was great.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny at the end. He was like, "You guys were having a good conversation. I didn't want to interrupt it." I was like, "Well, you can say whatever you want to say."
Yeah, but about 3 months ago, we're playing basketball in his apartment, and this white
Oh, I remember this story.
This white 05.
I was there. Go ahead, sorry.
I don't know if you were there for this one. It wasn't the stolen car.
Oh, okay, that's a different story. Okay, so tell this story.
Me and him were just playing basketball, and this 2005 white Corolla comes busting in, and we just hear a and we look over, and they just nailed someone's car. The dude nailed someone's car, and he parks on the other side of that car and goes into his apartment. And me and David were like, well, let's go check it out. Let's go see what happened. And as we're standing there looking at it, the dude comes out of his apartment, and he's drunk as shit. And he's like, hey, bro, I'm so sorry. that was an accident. And me and David are just sitting there contemplating, like, do we fuck with this guy? Because this isn't even our car.
Like, how long ago was this?
A few months ago.
Okay.
And he was so upset. Like, I mean, I'm sure he would be.
He thought it was y'all's car.
Yeah, he thought it was one of our cars. And we're like, nah, bro, don't worry about it. It's cool.
So he thought that you owned the car and you told him it was cool?
Yeah, and then... Like,
what did the dent look like?
it wasn't too bad. It was right on the... It had a good-sized dent in the quarter panel, so on the driver's side. So it definitely needed some work. But I'm pretty sure right before we left, we were like, this isn't our car. You should leave a note.
Did you tell him that?
I think.
You think?
I don't know. The car was already beat up as it was.
Well, I mean, he should have, regardless, he should have done something. You know if he ever did anything or if he just dipped?
No idea.
Have you seen him since?
I don't remember what he looks like. But, yeah, it was really funny.
What about the other story? The one that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Another time, we're just playing. Weird things happen when we're just playing basketball at David's place. But we're playing basketball, and this Asian lady comes screaming down the apartment drive, and she runs into the basketball court.
This was like back in March, February, January, right in there.
Yeah. And she was like, please help, someone just stole my car. And I was like, okay, I'll call 911. So I call 911, and we're doing the report. It was a Lexus.
So you called 911, and then they sent over a cop soonish?
About 45 minutes.
Okay.
It took a long while. And part of that is because of the defunding.
Right.
So they have less people on call. And another thing, that car, 9 times out of 10 in our current state, doesn't get returned just because with the defunding, the people that find the car don't have jobs anymore.
Interesting.
So all of the special operations that all the special branches of the police and stuff like that, they're the ones that got cut from the defunding because you still need regular police officers. So you need...
Right, so then this lady comes screaming out.
Yeah.
But she didn't speak very good English, did she?
No, she did not. And
I thought you said you couldn't understand what she was saying.
I was paraphrasing.
Okay.
And I'm doing the report with them, and they were like, what car? And I was like, what is it? And she was like, Lexus. I can't remember what the ant butt one is called. Is that an LC?
Lexus ant butt?
You know the ones that look like the butt?
Oh, RX?
RX, yeah. It was an RX 350, probably like 2015 or 2016. And they were like, what's her name? And this is where it got me. She said, like, Michon Young Kanton or something like that. And I just froze. I was like, what? Like, you got to spell that for me. But, yeah.
Were you the translator?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't know if you're the translator?
I know it starts with an M. But later down the road, like 45 minutes later, the cops finally get there. And there's not a whole lot they can do. They just wrote like an incident report. And then there was there were 2 cops that pulled up. They were both in the same car. And one of them was taking the report. And the other one was just bullshitting with me and David. And we were just asking questions and stuff like that.
What'd you ask him? Or do you remember?
One thing that I won't forget this for a really long time. I told him, I was like, where do most stolen cars happen? Like, when y'all get calls about stolen cars, majority of the time, where does it come from? And he says, gas stations. People that leave their cars running while they go in to just grab a drink or put some gas on a pump. As soon as you walk away, if the wrong person's standing there, they're waiting for you to just walk away. And he was like, personally for me, and I've done it, when I see cars running at the gas station, I walk over, take the keys out, and then stand around the corner and wait for madness to pursue.
You said he's done that before?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a good lesson. You go into the gas station with your car running, come out, and the keys aren't there, and you're like, oh.
Can he do that? I mean, I guess he did.
I mean, I don't know his name, so y'all don't have questions for me.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that. I do that way too often. I know I shouldn't.
I did it every time I went to the gas station until he told me that. Now I turn it off. It's kind of inconvenient because when you just go in for 5 minutes, you want to get back in your truck.
Not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, you just want to get back in the car and go. But I'm okay with not losing a car. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. So you finally got your rental truck today. It took you down to the custom shop and picked up your beat up, well, now clean truck.
Yeah.
No dents?
No dents yet.
Does the backup thing work?
It does.
The beeper works?
Oh my God. I heard the beeper for the first time in so long. And I was just like, let me turn that off.
You turned it off?
First time, but I don't really need it a whole lot. I mean, I didn't use it for like 3 or 4 months. So,
Because it didn't work.
yeah, I just used my eyes.
And so they fixed it. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, just some sensors.
Are they new, or do they think they just recycled the old ones? Because I wonder, because
I'm pretty sure one of them was salvageable on the back, but all the rest of them had gotten part of the accident.
Because I wonder what ended up being the problem, if the sensor itself was destroyed when the bumper got crumbled, or if there was wiring that got pinched or cut. But, yeah.
All the above.
Yeah.
I got a would you rather for you.
You have a would you? Okay.
Would you rather read every book or fluently speak every language?
Read every book. Having all that knowledge, man.
I mean, that is a lot of knowledge, but if you could fluently speak every language, you would be the top paid translator on earth.
Well, not only that, but also you could still read textbooks. Those are still books. Think about that. You'd be so smart. You'd know everything.
You'd go read a bunch of 10th grade history books.
You know what? If I knew all the language, I knew all of the books. Wait, when you say every book, does it mean like books written in other languages too? Or just English?
I'm going to go with just English because the speaking language, every language kind of...
Okay, let's say you can't speak it, but you can read it.
Okay, that works. You can read every book in every language, but...
Usually that's not how it goes. Usually people, they can speak it, but they can't read it. Because in a lot of cases, like people can speak English, but sometimes they can't read it. And same with, I mean, almost every language on the earth. But
I honestly...
I would take the books, definitely the books.
I can speak Spanish. I can read Spanish better than I can speak it.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I was like, I can read it and understand it better than if someone was talking to me. But it's just so fast.
If someone's talking to me in Spanish, I'm gonna have to say, "Whoa, slow down there for me."
Me amo.
Yeah, let's get our names out there.
Let's start with this. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Once I know that, then we can start the conversation. Because I feel like in high school or any course that you take to learn, I guess, just Spanish, that's just one of the first things you learn is asking someone how old they are.
Which normally that's not something you usually ask people.
Right. Feliz cumpleaños. I know that one. Puedo ir al baño. That's a good one to know.
But isn't that can I?
Yeah, that's can I go to the bathroom?
So what's may I?
I think that's it's the same thing. I think it's reversible.
One thing that I don't get is the movie The Human Centipede?
I've never seen it, but I do know about it.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but haven't seen it. I haven't seen it myself, but I know the gist of it, and you got to think about it. Someone one day just was either writing something down or they thought of it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I just thought of something." And then they took that idea and they went and pitched it to someone, and that person said, "Holy shit, you're a genius. We're gonna get this. We're gonna do this."
But that goes with any weird, stupid movie you've ever heard of.
There's a TV show I've seen on Netflix called Sexy Beasts. I haven't watched it, but people dress up in the most elegant, like,
I think I've seen
masks, and like they dress up like animals and then do like speed dating. And it just, I haven't watched it, but it's like, who watches this?
I don't know. I've seen like pictures. Okay, don't make a mess. I've seen pictures of like people wearing like a turtle costume and then a horse costume, and like I really vibe with you or something like that. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. Like it's just so odd. But you know what? If it's their thing, then fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I'm not gonna watch it, and that's okay. Something I just thought of, and actually a thought that I think about all the time is that this is kind of getting out there, but do you know how much garbage is in the orbit around Earth? Like, do you have any idea how much satellite garbage is just floating around Earth.
Like garbage that we've launched out there, or just dead satellites?
Just like satellites that are not being used anymore, and they're just orbiting around Earth.
Hundreds of hundreds.
Hundreds of hundreds? What are you talking about?
I would say there's probably like 2,000.
I think there's more than that. I remember listening to almost like a TED Talk once that I was forced to listen to for school. They're called derelict satellites. And oh my gosh, there are so many. And it was basically it was almost like the guy that gave the presentation, he was talking about how much clutter there is around Earth and how hard it is to launch satellites because there's so much stuff moving around in the orbit. So to launch a new satellite, it's pretty difficult because how much is already up there and what's not being used. And then what's not being used, how do you get rid of it? How do you like send someone up there to go grab them and then pull them back and then dispose of them?
Is it inside or outside the atmosphere?
I think
I'm sure there's a wide variety of in and out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I would say outside the atmosphere, that would make the most amount of sense because I feel like if it was inside the atmosphere, then
Get some kind of plane with like a big magnet or something.
yeah, just get a big magnet and just suck them all up, the ones that aren't being used. I mean,
And then drop them in the ocean.
he's like trying to create a reform for
Getting rid of old satellites.
right. Just there's so much trash up there, and then also the amount of asteroids, the little space objects that are floating around. I'm surprised that there hasn't been bigger ones
Yeah.
that have come through.
Dude, you've already had to knock on wood twice today.
I mean, it's got to be done. Someone's got to do it, especially if I'm speaking terrible things into existence. But it is kind of amazing how something like that hasn't happened. And I know that at least NASA has talked about if there's an asteroid big enough that's coming towards us. I mean, there's people looking for them, but it gets to a point where there's no Armageddon squad. If it's coming at us, there's not a whole lot we can do right now. I think they said something about it's going to be about 10 years or so before we'll be able to defend against the vast majority of large terrestrial objects or celestial objects coming at us.
Oh!
What?
I made a sale.
Just now?
Yeah, I just pulled it up and I have one. Okay, that's a bet. Okay. Continue
I was just talking about like there's
defending against
things hurtling towards Earth. It would have to be a worldwide effort in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what it is. But if there's something big enough coming, at least for the time being, there's not much that we can do to stop it. So
I mean, think about it like this. Like,
get lasers, man.
What if the United States sees like this big ass asteroid in orbit coming directly for us, and then we do all the math, and they're like, okay, the Earth is going to turn, and that's just going to nail Hong Kong. Do we tell them?
No, it's not going to hit Hong Kong. It's going to hit the middle of the Sahara Desert, which might be kind of nice. There might be some it might create what's it called?
History.
No, from Black Panther. What was that the civilization called?
I can't remember. I haven't seen the movie all the way through. Wakanda?
Wakanda. Yeah, Wakanda. You could create like a little Wakanda if you just let that asteroid hit. I mean, there's no one in the middle of the Sahara Desert. I mean, it's not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I hope not. And then it lands there, and then you've got this oasis, literally in the middle of the Sahara.
I'm going to change the topic real quick.
Just because, what's it called? Is it vibranium? Anyways, I'm not huge on Marvel, but I know enough.
Do you remember when movie theaters used to have, like in the bathrooms, they had the little dispensers that had like little packets of cologne and condoms?
I think so.
You remember like
yeah.
like in an AMC or like a Regal, they had like a little quarter thing that you could get.
I thought that was candy.
I mean, every kid probably did, but like there were condoms and cologne in there.
Really?
Like the movie theater knew what's up.
I mean, they don't want them to use it in the theater. Was that just...
You forget it? Hey.
Oh, you know what? Okay, that kind of makes sense now that I think about it. That makes sense. Because then you have the whole dinner and then a movie, perfect night out. And then it's like, all right.
They were thinking ahead.
And then it's just right there. You're like, that's a great idea. Yeah, they were thinking ahead. I was like, wow. I've always wondered, now that I think about it, I do remember seeing those when I was a kid. Definitely don't see them anymore because I haven't been to a theater in a little while. But even then, I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe I haven't even seen one of those dispensers that has that kind of stuff in it. I think I might have even seen Viagra in there before.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think I've seen that in there before too. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Have you ever done defensive driving?
Yes. I did it in 2 different states. Okay. Well, the first time was actually the first time I ever got a ticket when I was in Kansas. And Kansas doesn't have defensive driving because I remember I got the ticket. It was for rolling a stop sign. It was just one of those unlucky things where I was going was 50 feet away and there's just, obligatory stop sign. Okay, fine. Kind of roll through it. And then there's a state trooper coming in the opposite direction. As soon as I roll that stop sign, I was like, no, don't do it. And of course, U-turn. And he comes after me. I'm like, no. And at the time I was with Ray Jean. I was driving with him and he just had to sit there and be witness to me getting a ticket. And I was like, yeah, that kind of sucks. Because all we were doing was, since there wasn't like a hazing thing on the baseball team, but we were the freshmen. So whenever the older guys wanted things like dip or something, we would just go get it for them. And that was one of the things I was getting with him and got my ticket. And then I went down to the district attorney's office and I said, can I do defensive driving? And they're like, what's that? And I was like, okay, so what can I do to not have this ticket on my record? And they're like, you can do like this course thing and basically pay this fine. I was like, okay, I'll do it. So then I filled out the paperwork, put it in. I mean, there wasn't a defensive driving course. It was just basically you fill out the paperwork and you can do it once every calendar year, something like that. And then everything was good. And then when I came back to Austin and I was going to my last final in the fall of spring of 19. It's my last final. I was getting off the highway and traffic was backed up, but my exit was right there and I could use the shoulder to get to it. And I'd done it multiple times, but I was kind of in a hurry. I was like, I'm trying to get my last final. It started in like 15 minutes and I was, 10 minutes away. And I go into the shoulder and I start riding down the shoulder. And there just so happens to be a cop in the right lane. Just watch me go by him in the shoulder. And I was like, no. And of course, he gets out behind me and he pulls me over, gives me a ticket. And actually, what's funny is about 9 months later, I was driving through campus to go to a job. I was going to service. And my inspection sticker was out. And this cop was following me. And the cop throws on his lights and pulls me over. And it was the same cop that gave me a ticket 9 months before. He goes, do you remember me? And I was like, yeah, I kind of do. Like, yeah, I do remember you. He's like, hey, what's up? He's like, your inspection sticker's out. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to work. He's like, okay, well, get it fixed. I was like, okay, thanks.
Clutch.
But at first I didn't recognize him because when he pulled me over the first time, he had braces. And then when he pulled me over the second time, he did. And I was like, is that the same guy? I was like, oh, it is. It was kind of funny. But yes. And then for the shoulder thing that I got busted for, I had to do defensive driving for that. And that it's not that hard. I know that you had to do it recently too.
Yeah. At the end of defensive driving, they like give you a little option for a free downloadable certificate.
Yes.
Why is that a thing? Like, congratulations, you passed defensive driving.
Well, you can download it, I guess, deliver a physical form, because that's what I did. I downloaded it and printed it. So then whenever I completed my defensive driving and took it down to the police station, I gave them the certificate and then the form they wanted me to fill out with it. So that's why you would download it. The defensive driving is so funny because if you go to the right one, you can just let the videos play. And I know because you were calling me when you had questions about it, because you didn't want to, because if you don't get enough of them right, I think it's if you get less than half right, you have to do the whole thing over again. Mm-hmm. And you were doing it the day before it was due.
Yep.
And it was late at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you calling me. And I was on the phone with you. You're doing like the last video.
No, I had already done the last video. Whenever I called you, I had already finished. I had already known what was going to happen that night.
How'd you know you weren't going to get at least half of them right?
I wasn't watching the videos. I was playing GTA the whole time.
Right, and so that's what I was doing. And that's not exactly what I was doing, but I was letting the videos play, and they kind of just go off to the side, and then after the videos are over, just go through and answer the questions.
Yeah, I was kind of bullshitting the questions and really read them through. And then it came down to the last segment. I could miss one. I can't miss one question.
You could miss one.
Couldn't miss one, and I have 3 to make or 4 to make. And on the third one, do you know what part of the body gets rid of alcohol or digests alcohol?
I would say the liver.
It is your liver.
What'd you answer?
Apparently, I put my fucking kidney.
Is that what you put?
That's what I put.
Why'd you put your kidney?
I don't know.
I think you asked me that question. You go, what is it? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's your liver. And I thought you answered with liver.
I thought I did too. Apparently I put kidney in, and I called them the next morning, and I was like, hey, so what did I put for my answer last night? And they were like, you put kidney. And I was like, well, guess what? I drink alcohol, so I think I fucking know what processes it.
So then you had to do the whole thing over again?
Yep, on 420. I spent half of my 420 baked off edibles doing defensive driving while David puked on the walls, and I'd let one of the videos play while I cleaned up puke. It was an awesome 420. I actually did have fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a blast, doing defensive driving.
Playing GTA and doing defensive driving off my ass on edibles.
Did you turn in the defensive driving that day?
Yeah.
So you finished it, drove down there?
It was in Fort Bend, so I had to mail it same day.
Why were you in Fort Bend?
Whenever I drove to the coast for
Oh, that's right. And you got a speeding ticket.
In a fucking work zone.
Oh, so that was a big ticket.
Big ticket.
So did you have to pay the ticket and the defensive driving? Or just the defensive driving?
I think both.
Because I thought the defensive driving canceled out the actual ticket itself. Or maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like defensive driving. It's annoying.
It is pretty annoying. But you know what? It's better than having to do the Kansas thing or just having a state that doesn't have it. So.
Do you know, scientifically, they say people with bigger dicks walk slower. Remember whenever I read that on Instagram, I was in HEB,
You started walking slower?
No, I was.
Were you started looking at guys and you was walking slow? Were you doing that?
No, I just realized that I was walking fast as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. So you started walking slower.
Yeah, I did take it down about 20%.
Do you think that's true?
I don't know.
I'm sure that you have a lot of points of reference, but you should, with that kind of knowledge, you should just see if it's true. I mean, whether I'm walking fast or slow just depends on
what I'm doing.
Exactly. So
yeah, I tend to walk faster though. I don't I hate people that walk slow as shit. Because
I tend to walk slow, and I know that I do. It's just because I'm strolling.
Yeah, when people stroll and I'm trying to move, I have to walk all the way to the truck and then sit there for 45 seconds while I wait for you to catch up. Or I can slow down and walk with you and take extra long.
I'm just walking at a good pace. We all get there when we get there. We also had some people go on and give us some really nice reviews on Apple Podcasts, which was really nice. Shout out to those people. So if you feel like leaving a like or leaving a review, that'd be super cool.
Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more.
Yeah, do all those things. You'll find us anywhere. So you said that you're going to meet up with Daniela and you haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah. Daniela is one of my friends from 8th grade. She went to Westwood. I went to Anderson. But she's been in and out of Austin. The United States. She's been living in Mexico City for back and forth, a year here or there, whatever. But she comes back. She got here yesterday, and she leaves on Wednesday, and then she comes back in a month with her boyfriend.
That's fun.
Yeah. I'm going to meet her boyfriend. He looks just like me.
Does he really?
Yeah, we look pretty similar.
That's funny. Are you sure it's not you?
I don't speak Spanish. Actually, I speak a little bit.
You speak some Spanish.
Cállate el hocico.
Okay, that's just rude.
Yeah, fuck you. For the Spanish speakers out there, you probably just laughed.
I mean, you don't know what you just said, though.
I do know what I just said.
Yeah, because David told you.
Shut up.
We should seriously have David on again. That was fun.
Yeah. He'll definitely come back.
Do you have anyone you want to have come on this week?
I don't know about this week, but my friend Trace, he's going to come on.
Okay.
Trace fucking cracks me up. you have anyone that you want to bring on, Brett?
I mean, he said that he wants to, so I mean, I've got a handful. No matter to me. I mean, it's my show. I do what I want.
You mind if we have Shaq on?
That would be gnarly.
That would be so gnarly.
That'd be the day. That's when we know we've made it, when Shaq comes on.
Dude.
And then you can pitch him your Shaq Tar, your Shaqtus, and your Shaq Leches.
Yo, Shaq, I need the rights to the name Shaq for like a few years.
Just like a month. Just kind of have your name for a month.
Let me sell out.
Yeah, that'd make you a sellout for sure. Man, I wonder if he's working on any like Shaq products behind the scenes right now.
He's gotta. Like, there's no way.
There's so much he can do with it. Sorry, this doesn't need to be a Shaq love fest every single time that his name comes up, but
he's a legend.
it could be anybody. We could make a... How do you feel about Fernando Tatis Jr. with the Padres? What are your thoughts on him?
I like him. He's really good.
He's good.
Yeah, I like him.
Okay. I think he's a great player. I think he is.
Yeah, he's very, very solid. I saw a bomb that he hit. I don't know if it was last night or the day before, but didn't he just come back out of injury?
Yeah, and then I think they moved him over to the outfield because he's been leading all of Major League Baseball in errors. So,
wow.
Yeah, he's made a handful of errors over at shortstop. So they're like, yeah, go play the outfield. And he's been raking still, so good for him. Also, what do you think about Shohei Ohtani?
Dude, he's one of my favorite players. That dude goes so hard. Do you remember the week whenever he pitched like 18 scoreless innings and hit like 4 bombs in a week?
Yeah.
Like, he had one week where he was just the most alpha baseball player.
I just love the way he swings, and the sound of the ball off his bat is incredible. There's nothing like it. There's no one that hits the ball like he does.
Yeah, he's one thing. If you notice about those Asian foreign baseball players, is a lot of their mechanics look the same.
Kind of.
They'll have their own styles to it, but I just love Ohtani's is just smooth.
It is. It's very smooth. It's
he doesn't even look like he swings the bat, and it's just gone.
Yeah, no, he drills it. I just like, if you ever go on YouTube and you want to look at baseball highlights, look at, I think it's Japanese League home run bat flips. They're so fun to watch because they swing and then they literally tomahawk the bat. You see them do that before?
I have not.
It's awesome. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure people get really upset in Major League Baseball if that happened, but they swing, they hit a home run, their bat flip, they swing, and on the back swing, they come back and tomahawk it basically towards their dugout. It's fun. It's really cool to watch.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And you saw that whenever we were doing the home run derby, the Japanese League was doing the bunt derby.
Yeah, dude, the bunt derby actually looks kind of fun.
What are you looking at?
Something with my business.
Yeah, you said you haven't talked much about it. Is it doing okay?
I've just been trying to find money to run ads. That's pretty much that's the area that I need to improve so that I can make some more money. Because, I mean, I got the store up and running. It's out there. It's working good. I just needed to get on more people's phones.
Do you like can you see the analytics of which ads run best or which ones are most effective?
Yes, but I haven't run a whole lot to be able to get a really good gist of it. I've only run 1 week worth of ads. Right, I've been in kind of a dead week recently.
I'm curious to know, how effective are Snapchat ads?
They are the most effective.
Really?
Yes. Snapchat is a huge platform, but also Facebook. Facebook Marketplace is massive.
Well, no, yeah, it's huge. But because I'll see ads on Snapchat, and I'm not usually. I don't feel the need to click on them or to learn more about them because I guess in most cases it's just not probably marketed towards me. But I've never felt the need to click on an ad on Snapchat, and even Instagram sometimes. Like whenever I see an ad anywhere when I'm doing something, like let's say it's on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat, when I see that it's an ad, I immediately don't care. Like my interest in whatever is being presented to me,
Yeah.
I just lose it all almost instantly. I just try to get through it as fast as possible. Because I guess it depends what it is. There's some ads that I have clicked on before, I would say on Instagram, but never on Snapchat. Maybe a couple times on YouTube, but really I just, it's not one of those things that I feel the need to click on.
I got some shit to look through in my business.
Why you look so perplexed?
Because where it deposits my money isn't my card. Somehow my card got changed.
What?
So 2 of my transfers have not gone to my account.
Where have they gone?
A Visa ending in 9884.
Do you know any cards that are like that?
I do not own one like that. So now I get to figure some shit out.
Well, that's interesting.
That is so interesting.
Well, hopefully it's not a bunch of money.
It's not.
Okay. Well, at least you figured it out now and get it taken care of before it keeps going. How can that happen? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Do you have a would you rather? Actually, you asked me one recently over text.
Yeah.
Would you rather eat chicken flavored ice cream or beef flavored ice cream?
I'm going to have to go with beef just because I feel like chicken would be not as much flavor. With beef, you could really get a taste of the cow.
Man, double cow parts going into there.
Yeah. Milk and feet. That's gross.
Do you like chicken or beef more? Let's say a steak.
I was gonna say it depends on how I'm eating it. Let's go with tacos. Chicken.
Beef versus chicken taco?
I would take chicken taco. But like
a chicken breast versus a steak.
Steak. But like if it's a whole chicken, I will devour that whole chicken.
What's interesting to me is that people talk about how red meats are bad for you and you shouldn't eat so many red meats. But also it's really one of the best places you can get iron and creatine. So I guess it's just one of those things that you have to eat, maybe once or twice a week, just so you can get those nutrients that you need. And then just eat chicken basically any other time that you're eating. Or fish. Fish is good. Do like fish. You know what's really good? Shrimp.
Really?
Love shrimp. I love shrimp.
I can't.
I love shrimp so much. I would eat it every meal of the day.
I can eat it, but I can't eat it every meal of the day.
I'm totally kidding. I hate shrimp.
I was gonna say that is not like you to say something like that.
Yeah, I thought you knew this. I thought you knew I don't like shrimp.
Yeah, when you said you could eat it every meal of the day, I was like, hold on, something ain't right here. I can eat one shrimp and then I'm good on shrimp.
But I don't understand how people can make a shrimp pasta. You know what I mean? Like I don't think shrimp and pasta go together that way. Because you can go to a lot of places and get like a shrimp scampi. That's really popular, especially at the Cheesecake Factory. You can get that there. But maybe it's just because I don't like shrimp that much. I don't see how those textures go together so well. Or some people think that they do. That's odd to me. But I had one bad experience with shrimp. And we were at a Texas football game, and I was youngish, and I might have been 11 or 12, maybe 13 years old, and I had shrimp that night. I don't know with what, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll have some shrimp. This is good. And then not even 2 hours later when we get back, I threw it all up. Yeah. It's not like I overate.
It was just
I don't like shrimp. I can't do it. And also, it is the texture a little bit. It's the texture of shrimp that I don't really care for that much.
Yeah. It has a peculiar. How do you say that word?
Peculiar?
Peculiar. I always want to say peculiar. But.
Like Pacific and specific?
Pacific and specific?
Do you struggle with that one?
No. What the hell?
I know people that do.
Yeah. Shrimp has a peculiar taste.
There you go. it's a peculiar taste. It's also the texture. It's like it's a weird crunch
Yeah.
that almost feels like it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. How do you feel about sushi?
I like sushi in moderate quantities. If you brought to me a bunch of it, I could eat it, but then at the same time, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like having a few pieces is good with me, but then any more than like 5 or 6. And it's funny I say that because I went to someone's birthday party or just birthday dinner, and we went to a all-you-can-eat sushi buffet.
Ooh.
And it's one of those deals where I don't remember how much it was, but it was unlimited shrimp or sushi, as much as you can eat for like $50, something like that.
50?
Yeah, I think it wasn't cheap, but it's sushi and it's as much as you can eat.
Wait. Per person?
Yeah, per person.
That store is making bank unless sushi is expensive like that.
So sushi's not cheap. I mean, it depends on the fish, but in most cases, fish isn't cheap.
Yeah.
So if you're using good fish like salmon, trout, and I mean, they would be using swordfish, but mostly it's just gonna be salmon and trout. And I had more than I could handle. I mean, it's one of those deals where after you're done eating, you're so full that you kind of have to hunch over as you're walking because you're so full.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it kind of hurts. But I felt bad because I wasn't paying for myself. I was being paid for.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
Indulge.
yeah, just, someone paid for an unlimited shrimp buffet for me or sushi. And I will oblige if, I didn't want to make anyone feel bad. But no, I don't much care for shrimp. And sushi's okay. I can do sushi. I like, a lot of people like California rolls. You know what those are?
Yeah. I was going to say that's the only piece of sushi I've ever had was just one California roll, and it didn't do it for me.
That's okay. It's one of the easier types of sushi to get down for most people.
A big thing about sushi for me is the idea of raw fish just doesn't, I like my stuff cooked.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't get sick. Or I'm sure a lot of people get sick from sushi.
Oh, for sure. Unless you're native to it.
Right, and you're just used to it. But do you like seaweed or seaweed?
Wet or dry?
Wet.
Never had it wet.
I don't know that you can get wet seaweed. I was just messing.
I don't know.
Like dried sushi, like you put sushi in a roll and you make, dried seaweed, you put it in sushi.
You make sushi out of dry seaweed.
I kind of like seaweed. Like, you ever seen someone like have a snack at school and they have like a little package of dry seaweed
It's
and they
just
just
like
eat?
flakes of
It's like little strips, like little pieces of paper of seaweed.
It's not bad.
It's very salty. You ever you hear that Mitch Edberg joke where he's like, you can't ever have a pet seaweed because you have to water it forever. You'd never really leave the house. You'd just be sitting there watering it forever. It's like, hey Mitch, you want to go out? It's like, sorry man, I gotta water my seaweed. It's like, for how long? Forever. Man, if only he was still around.
Yeah, he was funny.
I think he's definitely one of my favorite comedians. Definitely top 3.
It's very dry, straight to the point.
He was so good.
His delivery, a lot of it,
Impeccable.
How stand-up comedy works is how you deliver it, and how the audience perceives how you say it.
Yeah. No, he's freaking hilarious. Gone too soon for sure.
Mitch Hedberg.
But whenever he was doing his stand-up, I mean, he was always doing heroin.
Dude, he was off his ass
He was
all the time.
Juicing up all the time. And I mean, before he died, they're like, look, you got to stop doing it. Like you're going to kill yourself. He's like, nah, man, I'm going to keep doing it. Do you think the heroin made him a better stand-up? Do you think his jokes were?
I think it made him who he was.
Yeah, I can see that. But I don't think his jokes would have been the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can come up with the same jokes when you're not on heroin. Kind of like you can't come up with the same jokes when you're smoking.
Yeah. I have come up with some really funny jokes, and I delegate it all to just whenever you're high, you can be really creative and whatnot.
Do you still have aspirations of being a stand-up comedian?
I don't know. I'm going to tell stand-up comedy. I don't have a problem telling stand-up comedy, but being a stand-up comedian, I don't know if I want to try and do that in 2030.
Why?
Because we're going to live in a post-joke world, Brandt.
You got to power through it.
That's the one thing. I wouldn't have a problem telling like edgy jokes or anything like that. But
Edgy? What do you mean edgy?
over the line, I wouldn't mind.
That's comedy. That's what comedy is.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem saying that, but damn, the day that I open up my Twitter feed and you're an asshole, you're a terrible person. How could you say that?
Who cares?
I know. You can't make everyone happy.
No, you can't. And that's one of the interesting things about social media in general is that people who didn't have a voice 20 years ago now have an unlimited supply of bandwidth to just say whatever they want.
An unlimited supply of tweets.
Unlimited. They can just say whatever they want. And before, people that wouldn't have said anything at all. Not to say that's a good or a bad thing, but just there's people being heard that never would have been heard before, whether that's good or bad. And I would say in a lot of cases it's bad because social media in general is just cancerous.
It's just toxic.
It's so bad. That's why there's certain games that I don't play anymore, or at least not in the last 2 months, but before that, before I decided that I wanted to play video games less. Games like Rocket League. Because people just spam things in the chat, or like games where people are just so toxic. Like you're playing Clash Royale. It's so toxic sometimes. Like I just can't
spam emotes.
You're right. Like I just can't do it. It's not healthy. It's just not good for you because all you're going to do is get mad and you're just going to want to do it to someone else. And then they're going to want to do it to someone else because you did it to them.
Yeah. I would say with Clash Royale, I keep my emotes to a minimum unless I'm playing with Sam. If me and Sam are playing together, we have like 10 or 15 emotes we both have the same one. So we just sit there and spam pancake, 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 some shit like that. I don't know. And
whenever I play that game, or at least when I used to, I just turn emotes off. When they made that available, I just don't do emotes at all.
Yeah, that is smart. That was a good idea of them.
Because there's a place for it. There's a good place to be able to talk and communicate with the people you're playing against. But some people take some liberties and really try to get under your skin. And a lot of times it works, especially for me. It gets under my skin. I'm just like, oh, I want to get you back. Like, oh, I'm going to get you back. But then sometimes when you do get them back, the reward isn't as sweet. You know what I mean? Like you get them back and you do whatever they did right back to you. You're like, aha, in your face. But then let's say 30 seconds goes by and you're like, that wasn't worth it. The amount of emotions that were just running through my body just to get to this end, not worth it. And that's why the rage games, I'm good. I don't want to play them.
Yeah, I don't tend to rage on Clash Royale because I don't tend to lose.
Okay.
I'm serious.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
No, I'm serious. If you want the smoke in Clash Royale, get at me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not losing.
Yeah. I remember when I used to really, really like that game. But that just kind of goes with any game that I play. Like, whenever I like a game too much, it
becomes unhealthy.
It's really unhealthy. It just consumes so much of your time. Because you'll find a game that you really like. You just love it so much. You just want to keep playing it and playing it and playing it. And then it gets to the point you're like, what did I do today?
Yeah. The way I play video games is I can't play multiple games at once. I'll have phases for certain games, and I'm not gonna lie, I am in a Clash Royale phase.
You have like this. There's like a timer on your Clash Royale phase because it'll be there and then it won't, but then it'll come back about a few months later.
Yeah, it'll. I don't know.
And that's how I feel like most people are with Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft's along the same lines as Clash Royale because with Clash Royale, the whole goal is getting your deck to max, like getting all your cards level 13. Well, I'll do that and I'll get one deck max, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing that again, and then I quit. And I still keep the app. I just play a game once every month or something like that, and then I have another phase. I'm like, ooh, let's make another deck 13. And then same thing will happen with Minecraft. I'll finish a huge ass build. I'm like, okay, I feel like playing something else. And then like a month later, I just make a big ass another build.
Yeah. Whenever Minecraft draws me back in is usually with an update. And that's kind of been around the last 3 or 4 years that I've played it because they'll have a pretty big update that comes out maybe once a year or so. And they'll add things like polar bears.
Revolutionary.
Right. They'll add something fun. And so you want to create a new world and keep playing. But then it kind of goes away. So I'll play it for, let's say a month. And then, okay, I'm good. I've played my Minecraft for the year almost. But then they'll have a new update, especially the big one that's about to come out. I might play that a little bit. I'll have some fun with that.
Yeah. I started a world like March, and I'm still working on it. And
That's a long time.
Yeah. I want to finish it before the new update, like the new update fully comes out, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm probably just not going to start a world with the new update until I finish this world.
You said you started that in March. I remember the days when we would play on the same world for like 2 weeks, and we're like, wow, like we did it. Like this is it. This is the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's all done.
It's all done.
Masterpiece.
Yeah. Now I've kind of changed the way I play. I live in the smallest possible house that I can, and I get everything. I get like the best armor I can, tools. I beat all the bosses. I get the beacons and all of the extra stuff to where it gets to the point where the only thing I have left to do is just build and just kind of have fun. So, yeah.
I went to a service today. It was that one that I got a call about whenever I was taking you to customs, the body shop. And
I was going to say, you need to specify that.
The body shop. And I went over there, and it's right next to a house I had been to before, but they're, 1 block away from each other. And I go in. And there's nothing more annoying than whenever, especially in the situation where someone asks for service, like, yeah, we want it today. And I get there, and I knock on the door, and I ring the doorbell, and no one comes to the door. I have to call the office, like, hey, can you call the homeowner and let them know that I'm here? And then, like, another 5 minutes goes by, and I'm just standing there. And then they come driving up the driveway behind me, like, really, you're not even here? Like, you wanted the service as soon as I could get here, and you're not even here. But it's weird how sometimes...
oh, wait, not that one.
Why are you...
Nope. Hold on.
Okay, now you're just pressing buttons.
No, I'm not.
Okay. What were you looking for?
I guess you took the wah, 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 wah.
Oh, I guess I did. I didn't mean to. I had to make room for some other buttons. But anyways, yeah, it was one of the hard services. Or it wasn't a hard service. But also I hate whenever I go to a service and we have to I go there to do one thing, but then something else comes up or they want something else, so then I have to reschedule and come back for something that, especially in the case of today, if I had the part that I needed, which was a GSM, I could have knocked the whole deal out and been done, but I didn't have it with me. I don't know who I gave it to. I don't know if I used it, but because I usually try to keep one in my truck, especially for one of those situations. But now to reschedule and go back, but it's okay. It's not that far away. I've also been trying to keep the miles down on my truck because I know I've been driving it a lot.
Yeah, I kept the miles down on mine for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been in the same place, just sitting there. I need to do that with my truck, honestly. I just need to park it.
What are you going to drive?
The mule.
Good idea. We don't have it.
The tractor.
There you go.
Got a little bobcat. Run around the neighborhood in the turbo diesel. How do you feel about NBA basketball?
I'm not as big on professional sports as I am college sports. I'll watch basketball highlights. I like watching highlights from pretty much any sport, but the only time I can sit down and watch a full basketball game is March Madness. If it's NBA, if it's the finals, or if it's the finals, I'll watch it.
There's nothing like March Madness, especially when you make a bracket.
Yeah, if you make a bracket in March Madness, that shit is exhilarating.
Awesome. It's like fantasy football.
I got second.
Oh, that's right. You did get second.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Man, there's nothing like having a busted bracket.
Yeah, whenever it's the second round and you're like, well, I'm out.
But sometimes that's fun because in a lot of cases, everyone else, they feel like they're out too. And then it's basically competing to see who has the best, worst bracket.
The best, worst bracket. Yeah, there was actually, whenever we were doing the pool for the brackets this time around, we're going to do first place gets X, second place gets X, and then last place gets their money back. So if you have the worst bracket, you get your money back. Right,
and that's fun. That's a great idea because then, if you're completely out of it, it keeps you kind of tuned in and rooting against your own picks. I mean, that's kind of funny. It keeps it exciting for everyone.
Yeah, but if you get third, it's like, well, no bronze medal.
Well, that's how people are with fantasy football. It's like after like week 5 or 6, and let's say they're winless, they kind of just give up.
Yeah, they give up, and then it's like, okay, can I get your players, or are you just not going to open the app for the rest of the season?
That's usually how it goes. They
And
just
then
don't play.
Fucking Tom Brady just sits on someone's bench the rest of the season. It's
Not even that, or like a Dalvin Cook or something like that.
text them, I will Venmo you for your roster.
Can you just trade me all of your players? Yeah, that sucks. But I've in high school I didn't like fantasy football very much. I just thought, I was like, oh, it's like another way of gambling. But then I did it one time. I was like, this is awesome. It's so cool. It makes the game more fun.
That is true. It is another way to be entertained and watch it, because you'll just be watching certain players, like the players that are playing for you that night.
It just makes the whole game more fun, more
As soon as
interesting.
they snap the
And
ball.
anyone can play. You just draft the players and then you root for them. You know, you don't even have to like football that much.
Yeah, just snap the ball. Okay, DeAndre's open. Hopkins down the field right now. Throw it.
Right. I also don't understand fantasy baseball. I remember trying to do that. That's the one thing I did try to do to try to get into when I was in Kansas with my teammates. Is we did a fantasy baseball league. It's so much more work because there's games every single day.
Yeah.
Versus, and then guys get hurt and they're not playing. So you literally have to check it every single day to be on top of fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
As opposed with football, there's one game a week.
Do you...
Or one game or
You've
one
done
weekend.
fantasy baseball, you said?
I tried it, yeah.
Do pitchers make points?
Yes.
How do pitchers make points? Like strikeouts? Or?
Yeah, like strikeouts. I think the amount of runs they give up, maybe. But yeah, strikeouts is definitely a big one. I think innings pitched is one too, maybe.
RBIs, stolen bases.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So they've been doing fantasy baseball for a while. I want to say, at least for 20 years, they've been doing fantasy baseball.
Really?
Well, fantasy football went into the 90s. I don't remember when fantasy football started. I can look it up real quick, but fantasy football's been around forever because I remember when Ricky Williams went to the NFL, I remember people talking about him making people a bunch of points, and that was in the early 2000s, early or late 90s. I think Ricky Williams got the Heisman in 98, the year that I was born. Let's see. I want to see the first fantasy football season. I feel like most people should know this, or I feel like not should know it, but I feel like a lot of people do know it. Wait, what? The fantasy gridiron football emerged when? When do you think? Talking to you.
50s.
The 60s.
Damn.
62 was the first, technical.
Fantasy football.
Yes. That's crazy. Wow. Let's see. Oh. Fantasy football didn't start in 1997. Wait. Oh, okay, just kidding. So I guess the fantasy football as we know it today started in 1997. But really the first kind of fantasy football that can be traced is in the early 60s. And so then I would assume that baseball wasn't far behind that. But yeah, fantasy baseball is a hard thing to get into just because how often you have to keep up with it. Same thing with fantasy basketball. Remember when you tried to do that?
Yeah. I got, dude, my the one time I did fantasy basketball, I was stacked.
I think you drafted Russell Westbrook in the first round.
Did I do fantasy basketball with you?
No, I think you did it with
I did it with
your baseball friends, I think.
I did it with my friends Kai, Lucas, Jude. I remember, dude, I had like LeBron James, Westbrook, Durant. It was nuts. Like I was stacked. I didn't look at it after like week 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch a whole lot of basketball, but
Like I don't
only March Madness.
Right, March Madness. I'll watch a little bit of the finals.
Yeah.
Might have talked about this before, but regular season basketball, I'll look at highlights. Those are fun sometimes. And there's no shortage of, past greats doing cool stuff like Kobe. There's all kinds of cool Kobe highlights and Michael Jordan and learn more about him. I still need to watch The Last Dance. I haven't seen that yet. I might do that tonight.
Is that Michael Jordan?
Yes, that's Michael Jordan's 30 for 30 that came out about a year ago, I want to say. I think about a year ago.
Dude.
think it was last summer for sure.
If you just tell the buzzing to stop, then legally it can't.
Well, I think I stopped it.
Whenever you picked up your mic, I heard it.
I think it might be my mic.
Yeah, so it's not me, motherfucker.
Well, relax. It's okay.
Dude, I got a legendary wild card from a crown chest.
Are you playing Clash Royale right now?
It said I had a free request.
You're
Card
addicted.
request.
You're addicted.
I am.
See, it's just one of those games that you can't stop playing. You're just in the zone.
And when you think about it, a legendary wild card is better than getting a regular legendary because the wild card you can use it on any legendary.
No one knows what you're talking about.
I know. And
Easy with that, man.
I don't even know. It's when I'm close to the mic.
Okay, it's okay to get closer to the mic. Maybe you should. Do you still play that game, Wordscapes?
Every now and then, if I like to have, I only give myself one folder and one page of games, so 9 games on my phone, and half of them are usually Wi-Fi games, and the other half or a few are non-Wi-Fi games. Wordscapes right now is the only, actually, one of 2 of my non-Wi-Fi games. So like if I'm on a flight or whatever, if I don't have service, then I'll play Wordscapes. But if not, I don't play it a whole lot. I know you're on level like 600 something.
I've played a lot of Wordscapes. I do like it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's just it's like Scrabble and crossword mixed together.
Yeah.
It's a good brain teaser. Learn some more words you didn't know existed.
Good pooping game.
It's fantastic. It's like Angry Birds. Same thing. Except with words and no birds.
Angry words.
Angry words. Angry Shack. We need to make a Shack app.
The Shap.
A Shap.
What would you do on the Shack app?
Call Shack.
You download this app that just you press a button and you get on the phone with Shaq.
You can ask him anything. Let's say
what is the circumference of your bald head?
Let's say if it was going to make any sense, you had to pay money, right? So you pay money for the app, and for every phone call that you want to make to Shaq, it's going to cost you some coin. But you get to make that phone call.
I would, depending on how much that coin was.
I mean, a 5-minute phone call with Shaq, how much would you pay? What would you be willing to pay?
I would go up to $100 for a 5-minute call.
Oh, it'd be way more than that. You'd have to pay more than $100 to get 5 minutes of Shaq's time. Undivided.
That's true.
Shaq's attention?
I'll pay $1,000.
Why do we keep talking about Shaq?
Because if we talk about him enough, then the word will get out enough, and then he might hear about us and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go join Thought Insurance."
We just got to keep talking about Shaq every day.
Every episode, we have Bear Facts and a Shaq segment.
There's got to be, okay, so Bear Facts and a Shaq segment, and eventually, at some point,
Shaq's episode.
We got to have a Shaq episode.
Dude, we have to just title that episode Shaq.
Can you imagine?
If we had Shaq.
It's got to happen.
We need it to happen. Who do I got to speak to? Because I am a man with words.
So every episode we'll have a Shaq segment. We'll just talk about Shaq and just
we can do Bear
Mr. Shaq, please. Mr. Shaq.
We can do Bear Facts and Shaq Facts.
How would you address him? Would you call him Mr. O'Neill? Would you call him Shaq?
I would be perspective and I would say Mr. O'Neill.
I would ask permission to call him Shaq.
Mr. Shaq.
Mr. Shaq. It's got to happen. You know, we're gonna cancel out all the haters. It doesn't matter. People say it's a long shot, but you know what? If we stick with it, maybe he'll come on.
You put your mind to anything, you can do it.
If you think it, you can do it.
Shaq, please come on.
Don't do that. That probably hurt someone's ears.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was brutal. Okay, well,
yeah, with that.
Okay, I guess that's enough for now. But just, you know what, we'll keep Shaq in our thoughts and our prayers. I don't think he's going through anything right now, but he might be. So
we don't know.
We don't know. But even then, he's still in our thoughts and our prayers. And Mr. Shaq, please come on, and we can talk about so much. It doesn't matter. We have some business propositions.
I was going to say that.
We have some great ideas that we think it'd be great if you heard them. We want to hear your feedback. So Mr. Shaq?
Join us next time, Shaq.
Should I call him Mr. Shaq?
Yeah.
I feel like calling him Mr. Shaq. I don't know.
Mr. Shaq.
It's not disrespectful.
Mr. Shaquille.
Mr. Shaquille. Okay, Mr. Shaquille. Okay.
Stay
Please.
tuned. Join us next time.
Yes, please. Don't go anywhere. We'll stop talking about Shaq. Just kidding. Shaq forever.
We'll never stop talking.